Alright, if you look at this, guys. On here so early. Morning. Good morning, good morning. Hope everybody is well. Daily message of the Qur'an, and we are going to go ahead and go into our next portion of 2 Kings. I keep wanting to say first. Alright, hope everybody slept well, and let's go ahead and get started. Alright. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Alright. Alright, so this is line 96 from Surah 15, Al-Hijr, or Al-Hijr, the rocky tract. Okay, and you guys, I noticed too, I have another catchphrase that I noticed me saying. I rewatched some videos last night, especially just the one yesterday. If you hear me say the word right or all right, I just caught myself twice already. You may not notice much, but I've been overusing it lately. So I forget, I had another catchphrase just starting out that I would say over and over and over again just as a filler word. So now I think the word right and all right. Please do not distract yourself by counting the number of times that I use that. I'm doing my best to catch myself and just talk fully and clearly without any filler words. I don't know if it was the word that I used before, maybe. I forget. We've moved on to this word, I believe. Alright, well, we're not going to do that anymore. Oh, it's funny, I just read this out, or I just wrote this out without reading it, but it's very, very short. And if I will, I'll add another line. Let's just go ahead and focus on this one because I already have thought of something to say. This is line 96 from Surah 15, Al-Hijr, which means the rocky tract, like a mountain range or something of the sort. Line 96 reads, "Those who adopt with Allah another God, but soon they will come to know." Okay, so do you know what I'm going to do for just a little bit of context? Not to say, I don't think that is a complete sentence, to be quite honest, but we're going to go ahead and add the line before and the line after. They are short enough. But just go ahead and think what I just read. Go ahead and think about that. Is that something that is still taking place as people of faith, as believers? Are we still participating in this in any way? I would say yes, in more ways than one. And they're always not the most obvious, but we're going to go ahead and talk about it in a second. Who's God dash 97. We do indeed know how thy heart is distressed at what they say. Alright. Oh, there we go. See, I'm catching myself now that I'm aware. I was not aware of the use of the word. But now that I am, we could cut out but as well. Now that I am, I'm going to start being more proficient at letting that go. Line 95 through 97 from Surah 15. For sufficient are we unto thee against those who scoff, those who adopt with Allah other gods, but soon they will come to know, another God, but soon will they come to know. We do indeed know how we do indeed know how thy heart is distressed at what they say. Alright. Thinking about it. Those who adopt with Allah another God, but soon they will come to know. There is a message of hope here. Soon they will come to know. And how promising is that? Soon they will come to know the truth. The revelation will come upon them. And in what way are they currently misguided is what we're trying to understand, I would say. I've talked about this, but I don't want to ruffle any feathers. But I've talked too about the celebrities, right? How we hold certain individuals, right? Celebrities, athletes, musicians on a pedestal. Some even do worship these individuals as gods, or look at them as gods and will call them gods or goddesses. In rare cases, I don't think that's as much of a commonplace as we imagine, but it is a thing. What was I going to say beyond that? But again, it's the act of partaking in worship. When I scroll through my Facebook page, and you know how you have those recommended videos, the recommended reels? I would say every third one is something celebrity, whether it be Selena Gomez, Kim Kardashian, Hailey Baldwin, somebody, right? It has to be somebody, Rihanna, Cardi B. Not to say that I don't admire these women and I don't think that they're cool and interesting, right? I have to catch myself not to click on them. It's so easy to just go ahead and click because they're so recognizable. They're so attractive, right? Dare I say. Very attractive women. And it's so hard not to just click, just see what they're up to. You know, we know these celebrities. They've been on the forefront of our minds and our screens for as long as we can remember. You know, growing up watching them on TV, hearing their music. So how hard is it not to click and see what these celebrities are up to? And for men, there might be different things, right? Sports, what have you. Okay, I can't speak for you all. But it's so hard not to click. I've noticed, you know, me watching them. I don't follow any of these celebrities, but of course they're recommended to me to go ahead and look at and watch just short 5-10 second clips. So I'll go ahead and do my best. When I scroll upon them, just scroll past. It's not mean, okay, you're not hurting anyone's feelings, you're not trying to phase any individuals out. But again, it's where we spend our time and our attention. Okay, and we scroll. I pick up my phone a lot out of habit to go ahead and scroll and just look. Really, I'm just checking notifications. I manage a group on Facebook, so I'm doing that. But then, of course, I'll do a little scroll, see what's going on, see if I can find something that makes me laugh for amusement. And again, there's nothing inherently wrong and there's nothing inherently bad about admiring and worshiping the celebrities. But imagine if we added up all the time, don't worship, but you know what I'm saying, admiring, looking at, finding amusement by. But if we add up all the time that we maybe do these things, and it doesn't just have to be celebrities, music, sports, what have you. entertainment in general. If we add up all the time that we spend doing these things, I think you'd be quite surprised. And Allah will compare that with how much time did you spend doing these things in the entertainment realm versus how much time did you spend with me, focusing on your deen, focusing on your books, focusing on our relationship. Something to think about and to compare. And it says here, for sufficient are we against those who scoff. So people are going to, when you do take up deen, and when you do focus on your relationship with the Lord, you're going to get people who scoff. But the self-assuredness you feel in yourself, right? The pleasantry, the pleasant feelings you have inside you will motivate you and keep you going. So it doesn't make no difference who is scoffing or what have you. Okay. We do indeed know how thy heart is distressed at what they say. There was another point I wanted to bring up here. Those who adopt with Allah another God. So we can love Allah, and we also have the glorification of Jesus, right? I'm not trying to get pounded here into the ground when I say this. We also have mention of the Holy Spirit, right? The focus on those individuals just should not be more than Allah. It's good to go ahead and mention, acknowledge, appreciate, love, if you will, those individuals, those separate entities and individuals. But really the blessing comes from coming to know all three of them and know where they differentiate from each other. And to not merge them all together and confuse one for the other. Because if you're confusing the relationship between God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, how well do you really know those individual parties? And to worship Jesus, I'm on the fence. To worship the Holy Spirit, I'm on the fence as well. I don't really think people do that as much. But again, worship can be anything, spending your time, that sort of thing. Our top priority is Allah, is God, one God. And we tend to kind of group everybody together. Group all people together as well. We put people in groups just as we put Lord, relationship, and faith. This one was about to come down with the plant. We put relationship and faith, with the Lord all in one group. Yes, I don't want to talk too much about this because I'm still developing these skills. I wouldn't say I've had a relationship with the Holy Spirit, like a talking relationship. It's not so much that. Very rarely do I hear the Holy Spirit's voice. Very much, it's quiet for me. Quiet. Jesus, right? I have what I call the Jesus orb. Sorry with the camera, I have somebody's paws in the way. I have what's called the Jesus orb, where I see the image of Jesus, not to be blasphemous, okay? This is just something that made me laugh not long ago. I see the image of Jesus almost as like a meme, like it pops up in my mind, kind of like the cartoon Jesus, when I think of something that he said or did. Something like that. Or when I think I feel his spirit or his presence, I have the little image of him that pops in my mind with the thumbs up, kind of like that. Not to make light and comment on the nature of how we've really pushed out his image, okay? Just thinking about, because he was a man, I understand, but the amount of times that man's image has been replicated, duplicated, created. And it says in the Bible, we read this in the very beginning of the Old Testament, to not create a graven image. If this is a God, right? If this is your God, if this is someone whom you worship, why are we creating a graven image of him? We're not allowed to create graven images of Prophet Muhammad. It's actually, no, not allowed. God himself, again, he kind of has like this orb, this meme that goes around. Not to say it like that, but it's true. You know, the big white guy with the beard, the white beard, things like that. I would be surprised if that's what he actually looks like. But that's more rare. We don't really have pictures floating around of God himself because nobody has actually seen him. Okay. So, yeah, it's something to think about if we're newly coming into Christianity, if we're starting to begin to study Islam. We want to know what Islam and Christians are about. And I think Christians are becoming more and more understanding of the fact that God is his own way, is his own entity, his own spirit, his own individual. So the less the adoption of everybody else. I mean, it's fine, you know, go ahead, lump everybody together. It's up to you guys. I mean, your faith is your faith. But this is just what this is saying here. It's saying here, those who adopt with Allah another God, soon will they come to know. And indeed, we do indeed know how thy heart is distressed at what they say. So I added that in there because of course you're going to be distressed. Of course, this is the Western way, this religion. And it comforts us and it makes sense maybe to have more than one source, I guess you could say. And it is understood. Just know that Allah, myself, it is understood. Allah and myself. It's understood. I can see how it takes place. So it's not to, again, blame anybody. We're just trying to really, 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 what Islam is about is raising God up. Having one focal point. Raising God up, having one focal point, because he is the one that put everybody here, that watches all of us and hears all of us all the time. He's the one, okay? He's the one putting in, if you will, the work, if it is work for him. But we know, Allah, it is easy for you, okay? But he is the one. So I guess I will title that he is the one. And yes, this is a rocky tract to tread on. This is a little rocky to discuss. Because I have lots of friends that are Christians, and it's not to say that I was not raised a Christian as well, right? Catholic, I was born Catholic, you know, pretty much the same ideas. Even more so, they focus on the Trinity. We'll get into that. But, yes, I was raised. That's how I was raised. So I understand. I fully understand. And not to say, you know, everybody should have one way of thinking. Whatever works for you. But I'm telling you, the way to develop the relationship is to really differentiate and really get to know each entity and each spirit. People are saying, oh, it's one spirit. Who am I to say? Who am I to say? All right, let's go ahead and end this. I could talk on and on. There was a good 18-19 minutes here, talking a little bit slow. We are going to, isn't it nice when I have time I can just ramble on and on and on and on and on. I wasn't supposed to have coffee this morning either. I did that yesterday, and I think that was part of my problem. We're going to go into 2 Kings chapter 3, part 3, chapter 5. We're going to talk about Naaman. Who is Naaman? And we're also going to bring back Elisha, see what Elisha does. Alright. I'm going to get on there in just a few minutes. Peace out, you guys. Have a good morning. Bye-bye.